Let's talk about interval notation. This is going to be a smaller number, comma the larger number, and then around that I'm going to use either parentheses or brackets. If I have less than or greater than, I will use parentheses. I will also use it for plus or minus infinity. Infinity is a special number, and that's why it always takes parentheses. At actual numbers, though, if I have a less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, I will use these square brackets. Now to help see this, I'm going to draw an X number line. Here's 3. Now if you need to draw a couple extra numbers in there to see, we can do that. But I want X is greater than 3, so that means I am shading over here on the right-hand side. And I have an arrow that points to the right. Anytime I have an arrow that points to the right, that is positive infinity. So my interval will be the smaller number, 3, comma the larger number, infinity, and it's strictly greater than, so I'm going to put parentheses around that. The next one, I get almost the exact same thing. The only difference, because I have a greater than or equal to sign, is I'm going to put a bracket at the 3. Let's say we want to be less than. So again, greater than, I shaded the right-hand side. If it's less than, I'm going to shade the left-hand side. Again, an arrow pointing to the right is positive infinity. An arrow pointing to the left, because we're getting negative, is negative infinity. Again, always make sure the smaller number comes first. So that's going to be negative infinity to 3. And I've got parentheses because I'm strictly less than. The next one is almost exactly the same. The only difference, because of the or equal to, I'm going to put a bracket there at 3. Now we are also going to look at 3-part inequalities. Let's put 1 and then 4. Now, one of the reasons we write it like this is it looks like X is in the middle. And that is exactly where we're going to shade, is here in the middle. So for this first one, I'm going to get 1 comma 4. And because I'm strictly less than, I'll have parentheses. The next one, the only difference there is I'm going to put brackets around it. If I have a regular inequality, I will expect to see either infinity or negative infinity. If I have a 3-part inequality, I expect to see 2 numbers. We will want to write all of our inequality answers in interval notation. Now, as far as solving, we're going to solve these pretty much the exact same way we would as if it were an equal sign. However, there are 2 times when the inequality sign will flip-flop. So first is if I multiply or divide both sides by a negative number. So if I was going to solve this problem, I would have to divide by a -2, and that is a negative number. So my inequality sign, I'm going to circle that so we can see it, is going to flip-flop. And again, since I need that in interval notation, I would get negative infinity, comma -5. The other case we see less often is if we write the inequality the other way around. I like to always have the X on the left. I think it's just a little easier. So if I want to do that rewrite, my inequality sign will flip-flop. And again, if I'm less than 7, that means I'm on the left. Similarly, this next one, especially for 3-part inequalities, I like to have that smaller number first because, again, if I'm going to make a number line, the smaller number has to come first, and it just makes more sense to me visually to have that. So here I will then get 6 comma 11. So we will see our next video. We'll actually solve some of these with multi-step, but these are the 2 basic things that we need to keep in mind as we solve.